Hi boys and girls, this is your Language Arts e-learning lesson for Thursday, May 14th. We're going to begin with grammar, looking at prepositions on page 256. Alright, small words can make a big difference in meaning, such as Sula found it on the shelf, Sula found it under the shelf. The words on and under show very different relationships between found and shelf. The words that show these relationships are prepositions. So they're also trying to show you how these two small words do really make a big difference, because if Sula found something on the shelf, then you know it's resting on it. But if she found it under, then it's below the shelf. So two very different places, on or under. And so that's the point that they're trying to emphasize here, the difference that just changing this one small word has in your sentence. So again, the relationship, it is the words that show the relationships between other words in the sentences are prepositions. Now, some very common prepositions are listed here. So we'll just take a quick look. We have about, above, across, after, along, around, at, before, behind, below, beside, by, down, during, except, for, from, in, inside, into, near, of, off, on, out, outside, over, past, through, to, under, until, up, with, and without. Now, back in class, the first time we were looking at prepositions, we talked about the dog and the relationship between the dog and the box, and holding the dog, and we had the dog sitting on the box, and we said, okay, well, there was one preposition. The dog is on the box. The dog was over the box. The dog can be around the box, under the box, beside the box, near the box. Okay, so we use that to sort of help us think of prepositions and different prepositions. But here you have a list of the most common prepositions. Below the box also says a preposition relates another word in the sentence to the noun or pronoun that follows the preposition. The noun or the pronoun that follows a preposition is the object of the preposition. I liked the book with the blue cover. Book is your noun. The book with what? The book with the blue cover. The cover is the object of the preposition. Sula gave it to me. Okay, gave what? Gave it to me. Gave it to who? Gave it to me. All right. Now, if we take a look here, the object of the preposition is underlined in each sentence. What is the preposition? Number one, scientists study tools from the ancient past. Past is the object of the preposition, and the preposition is from, because you're asking, like, from what? From the past. When was the tool used by people? Okay, when was the tool used by people? By who? By people. Was it made for a special purpose? Okay, for what? For a purpose. And what does the tool tell us about them? Okay, what does the tool tell us about? About who? About them. Let's go over to the next page, and I just want to take a look here at numbers 10 through 18. This is what you're going to be working on your own, numbers 10 through 18. Oops. A little blurry here. Okay. Numbers 10 through 18. Write this sign for a museum of the future. Underline the nine prepositions once and any objects of the preposition twice. Okay, you don't need to rewrite the whole sign. What you do need to do is you need to find the 9 prepositions and write them, and then if any of those prepositions have the object, you need to write the object as well. So the example, the objects had been buried for centuries. The objects had been buried for centuries. For is your preposition, and for what? For centuries. So if this sentence was in this paragraph down here about the museum, all you would need to do would be to write the words 4 centuries. The 4 you would underline once because that's the preposition, and centuries you would underline twice because that's the object of the preposition. Now remember, not every preposition has to have an object, right? So underline the 9 prepositions once and any objects of those prepositions twice. Let's take a look at the paragraph that you're going to be looking at, and this is called The Leather Glove, AD 2000. This large glove was found on Earth. People lived there until the 4th millennium. Such gloves were often worn by ancient people. They were probably used during very cold weather. The size of the glove showed an amazing fact about our ancestors. Archaeologists used the glove for clues to the people's height. Our ancestors must have been over 8 feet. Okay, and then there's the picture of the very large glove. All right, don't forget, refer back to the common prepositions right here for help, and then look to see if there are any objects of those prepositions. Okay, so that's numbers 10 through 18. You're just looking at this paragraph, and there is a total of 9 prepositions. Okay, there is a total of 9 prepositions within this paragraph. All right, in addition to you completing the grammar, you also have Wordly Wise today. We are looking at lesson 16. Lesson 16. Okay. And let's go through and take a look at the vocabulary in lesson 16. You have apt, blossom, and a form of that, blossomed. You have bow and bows. You have content. You have contentment. Okay, so content, the content of something, or to be content. Okay, and actually here we're looking at content. So here we're using this, if you look at the pronunciation, this is content, and you have contentment. Okay, you have detest and detestable. You have dusk. On the next page, you have extinguish, familiar, obtain, orchard, practice, prune. And then your last 3, stout, threadbare, wander, and wandered. So please make sure that you take the time to read through these vocabulary words and their meanings. Make sure you're familiar with them and you understand them before you get started on your work. 16A, this is where you write a C on the line if the word is used correctly, and an I on the line if the word is used incorrectly. And then 16B, where you circle the letter next to each correct answer. And remember that there can be more than 1 correct answer, so anywhere from 1 to 4 correct answers. So make sure you read through the vocabulary definitions first, and then you're working on 16A and 16B. And then other than that, you have spelling city, which is parts of speech for today. Okay? Don't forget, you have any questions, you're not sure about something, please make sure you reach out to me so that I can help you out. Okay? Have a good day.